Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Marvel Legends review. Here, I actually have an entire Build-A-Figure wave, the Executioner Build-A-Figure wave. I really wanted to get Executioner, so I bought all the figures. Well, save for one, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But really excited to do my first Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. The only other Build-A-Figure I was interested in was probably the Moon Knight figure. Or not Moon Knight, excuse me. What Moon Knight's, like... what's his name? You guys know. Let me know in the comments, because apparently I am losing my mind here. Khonshu. His name's Khonshu. I got it. No need to leave a comment now. Khonshu. The Khonshu Build-A-Figure wave, but I didn't like any of those figures. I could have gone to Ross or, what was it? One of those discount stores. Ollie's. That's it. Anyway, really excited to finally have the full wave in here, except for the one figure that doesn't actually come with a Build-A-Figure part. I have no interest in World War II Wolverine. Or is it World War I? Anyway, they're all in the box here, and they all look similar to this. I'm just using Iron Man here as an example. They each come with a Build-A-Figure piece. The Mark 72 Iron Man comes with the head and the axe back there, but all of the boxes have artwork of the character on both sides. And on the back here, you can see what piece each figure comes with: Iron Man, Spider-Man, etc. World War II Logan. Okay, technically not Wolverine, but yeah, there's Iron Man in his box. I got him for $20. Dark Avenger Spider-Man. He was the only one I technically bought at full price, but I had a gift card from my Microsoft Rewards, so I only actually got him for about $20. And then Warbow was a Christmas present. I just haven't bothered opening it until now, but really like me some translucent action figures. There's Warbow. We got Werewolf by Night. He was, I think, $26. He really doesn't come with a lot of accessories, does he? But good looking fig, all things considered. And then Amora, Enchantress. This is like one of the only figures I was actually interested in the wave besides the Build-A-Figure, but get a good look there. Her face looks weird there, I don't know. But yeah, there's Enchantress. And then finally we got the Phantom Rider here. I've seen people put him with horses. I don't have horses, but maybe I'll get one. Looks like a pretty cool figure, but yeah, can't wait to get this Build-A-Figure. So let's go ahead and open them all up. Alright, we got them all out of the package here. Let's see, where do I want to start? I guess we'll start off with the accessories like I usually do. So from the left here, Iron Man Mark 72, couldn't remember the name. He comes with quite a bit. So on the figure, he has a pair of fists. And then off of the figure, he has two repulsor style hands. I'm not sure we've seen these before. They look new to me, but they could be reused. But for his repulsor hands, he has repulsor blasts. They easily fit in. Pew, pew, pew. I can't make the sounds, but those go in like that. And then he has alternate gauntlet pieces. So if I twist his arm here, you'll see there's a little cutout on his gauntlets. You can push that out, and then these tab up with the ones that it says. So this is the left one that goes on the left arm. I don't know why they had to key these specifically, but there you go. You can see how that looks, and it would look the same on the other side. So you got quite a lot of options with this figure. And of course, if you wanted to put the repulsor blasts in the feet, you could, but this should be more centered, I think, at least in my opinion. The Dark Avengers Spider-Man figure here. He comes with 8 different hands. I believe the fists are the exact same on both sides. So he comes with 4 pairs of fists and then 4 pairs of open hands. One for each side. So you can have, like, you know, an open hand over here and you know, have fists everywhere else. But he also comes with an alternate head sculpt here, a more squinty-eyed look. And I'm going to see how this looks like on the Secret Wars Spider-Man figure, because I think it's, at least in scale, it looks to be using the same body mold other than the actual torso. Oh, by the way, Iron Man here came with the head and axe. He came with the right leg for Executioner. Warbow here. Warbow comes with quite a few different things. He comes with a right-handed fist, a left-handed open hand, and then he comes with 2 gripping hands. I don't think they're trigger fingers, but those can be used to hold on to his crossbow. So you would put the crossbow into his hand here. Yeah, Amora, she doesn't like to stand. She's got some high heels. She just falls right over. Even with my McFarlane stand, it doesn't work much, but for Warbow, you would put it in his hand here, and then you would take off the hand, and then you could thread it through his wrist, like so. And then what you could do, you can actually take the arrow off. There is an engraving indent, and then you can put that in the hole here. It doesn't always like to stay in place. Like there's no, like it's not a great connection. It's hard to show on camera because it's a, you know, dark color, but it does snap in place, but it's hard to find. But yeah, he comes with a crossbow, looking pretty good. And he comes with the right arm for Executioner. And then Werewolf by Night, the only accessories he comes with is the right arm for Executioner and an alternate hand. He comes with nothing else. Nothing else. Amora here, she could stand up. Let me see if I can put her back on the stand. Problem with the McFarlane stands is there's not enough space. Not enough space for the peg to go all the way in. She stands up for a decent amount of time, and then she'll fall over. She comes with the standard female Marvel Legends hands we've seen for the past couple of years. 2 fisted hands, and then 2 of the splayed out hands. She also comes with an effect piece that you can put over her wrist, and I'm going to attempt to do that. Hopefully she doesn't fall over while I do that. But ideally you want to take the hand off first, then you can slide that effect piece over the wrist, and then put the hand over. And then let me see if I can get her to stand back up on the stand. There you go. So there she is with the effect piece. If she falls over, oh well. And then probably the figure that has the most interesting accessories, if you ask. Oh wait, she comes with the torso. Almost forgot. And then Phantom Rider here, he comes with the left leg, but he also comes with quite a few different things. So on the figure, he has 2 trigger finger holding hands. He comes with a set of, yep, I knew she was going to fall over, fisted hands. They're gloved fisted hands, by the way, I should mention. And he also comes with 1 open grasping hand. But his coolest accessories is a pair of revolvers. These are the exact same mold, and the handles are both painted white. Nothing special other than that, but these look pretty cool, and what you can do with them is, of course, you can put them in his hand if you wanted to. I would worry about the paint rubbing, but I think that would be okay, considering this is essentially like a Ghost Rider, if you will. And then he can put the other ones in his holster. So yeah, really cool that we can decide if you hold 1 gun or 2, and you know what else. But let me take this effect piece off of Amora, and then we can take a look at the figures themselves. Her stupid stand keeps falling off her foot. Get on there, come on. You know, for being a character that has magic, you'd think she'd use it to stand up, but no. She just falls right over. If she falls over again, I'm not going to worry about it. So, starting off with the left again. Well, he fell over. We have Mark 72 Iron Man here. Visually speaking, I love the look of this suit. I don't know too much about it. There is a read-up on the back of the box. Let me see what it says here. So on the back of the box, the Mark 72 Iron Man armor built out of near indestructible Mysterium pilots Tony Stark's mammoth mech, the Sentinel Buster. So will we get a Sentinel Buster? Probably not, but you know, at least we got this version of Iron Man. He looks pretty cool. Reminds me of like an even souped up version of Extremis. The paint job's mostly good. The gold on the face, though, it's a molded gold rather than painted gold, so it does look a little bit off. There is no midsection articulation of any kind, and they kind of give him a bit of a dumpy there. Like, he's got kind of an ass. It's kind of surprising. Like, you know, why did Tony make this suit to make it look like he has a big ass? Just saying. I like the colors here as well. I like how they did the arc reactor as well, and I do like that you can swap the gauntlet pieces out, which I'll probably do on display. But You know, you can have one side open, one side closed. Cool. But we'll get into articulation in a little bit. I want to take a look at these figures here. Dark Avengers Spider-Man. He's basically just black suit Spider-Man, but he's got 6 arms and 2 legs. So he's got a lot of extra limbs he's got to worry about. You know, when they say, you know, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, well, this guy could afford anything. After AI APEC helped Norman Osborn escape from the Special Containment Center, Osborn recruited him to become Spider-Man on his Dark Avengers team. As far as I know, the Dark Avengers team is like villains who kind of like dress up as superheroes, and they do like superhero stuff, but don't really have too many figures of the Dark Avengers team. Like I got Iron Patriot, for example, and I have a Warbird, but it's not the version from that. Obviously, I got this guy, but yeah, paint job. There's only paint on the torso, and of course the head sculpts. Trying to find where I put the other one, but there you go. There's the other head sculpt. This one's giving me Web of Shadows vibes, and you know what? I'm gonna put that on this one. Yeah, it's a very tight fit, but I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. And there's really not much to say. It's the Amazing Fantasy arms and legs, but he comes with a different torso piece. So there's Dark Avengers Spider-Man here. Warbow. Warbow is mostly a reuse of Crystar. I don't have Crystar. I want to get him, but he's like $50 now. I kid you not. But I'm a sucker for translucent green, any color plastic, and you know, having an almost fully transparent figure, I always like. So the only solid color pieces of plastic I think is the crotch joint as well as the feet, and I think that's it. Everything else is an overlay of some kind, and you know, you can see the reuse of Crystar's torso there, and you can actually see all the way through the torso, which is pretty cool, but his bandolier gets in the way. And, you know, there's the arms there. I like how it hits the light. Actually, it looks like crystals. It's really cool, though. Really like how that looks. And like I said, articulation will come soon. Werewolf by Night. He's a werewolf. That's really all I can say. There's a lot of reuse going on, like the arms here. They didn't bother to give him pinless arms, but he's got pinless legs. So, yeah, there's that. Texture works nice on the torso, at the very least. There's a lot of tufts of fur, and you can kind of feel them with your fingers. The head sculpt's good, too. I like the head sculpt, painted well. He's got those kind of freaky-looking yellow eyes, and he's got a very large jaw, chomped down on some unsuspecting victims. They even painted on the inside of his mouth. It's a pink there, even up at the top there. So, well done on the paint job. Even his toes, they gave him a good nail polish. Not on the bottom, though. Decent looking figure. And then we got Enchantress. She looks pretty good. Something I noticed immediately, though, is that she has no head articulation. It's just a ball. It's not even a hinged ball. It's just a ball. Given she has all this hair, it makes sense, but you know, I think the hinge would have at least given us a little bit more articulation. But Enchantress here, something I want to point out is she has a lot of skin showing, and when I'm looking at the artwork on here, she has a lot less showing. And obviously she has a necklace on that, but this version looks more like the one on the side of the box rather than the one on the back, where, you know, here she's obviously more, you know, large-breasted, but she's more covered up. It's kind of a weird, just kind of weird, you know? Like, typically Marvel Legends, especially with like the Goblin Queen, they typically stayed more conservative with the clothing. So seeing this is kind of surprising, at least to me. But figure looks good. I like the paint job on the legs as well as the forearms and upper arms, biceps. I don't think there's anything on the back of the figure. Yeah, just a bare backpack there, pretty much. But good looking figure, good paint job, especially on the legs. They did a good job on that. I will say though, I do wish these circles actually continued up at least a little bit on the hip. But other than that, really, visually I like the figure. But articulation's a different story. And then probably one of the easiest Marvel Legends to remake, since they didn't have to spend much on the paint budget, we have the Phantom Rider. Basically, the Ghost Rider of the Wild West. If you saw the original Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage, the first one, there's kind of a reference to that with Sam Elliott. So, I'm Sam Elliott. But anyway, this is, I believe, the Vulcan body, Black Panther body, Punisher as well. And they just gave him some things that are specific to him. So, of course, if we look at his boots here, he's got some boot cuffs, which they're slightly more yellow-white compared to the white-blue of the rest of the figure. Same thing with the belt here, which is, I think, fully painted all the way around. Yes, it is. He comes with a removable cape, so if you don't want the cape on, you can just take his head off, take the cape off, and then you got an exposed guy. But that's mainly for if you want to do like a custom cape, which I might do. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm keeping all 6 of these figures from this wave. Definitely keeping Executioner and Enchantress, but he also got some wrist covers. Those go over top. And yeah, just a good looking, almost all white figure. A lot of good detail on the parts that they did add. And I do like the, minuscule amount of paint they have on his head. I would not be surprised if they made a comic book Cowboy Deadpool and used this head sculpt, or rather reused it, because it would work well. But the head is not removable, unfortunately. But there you go. So that's all 6 figures while we're looking at them. And obviously we will look at Executioner himself in a little bit here, but I want to take a look at the articulation. So I'm not going to get into it a ton, but Iron Man here, as he is almost all new sculpt, pinless. He can touch his shoulder pads. There's obviously the swivel up there. His shoulder pads, they can go forward and back independent of the arm, but honestly, I don't like the attachment. It feels like it's going to break in there, so just be careful. Yeah, this keeps falling off. Have to figure that out. But head sculpt wise, it is it on a disc hinge? Let's see. It is not on a disc hinge, so there's articulation in the neck and the upper ball joint. The upper ball joint doesn't move much. Same thing with the lower, but yeah, he can't really look up. He can look down just fine, but up, if you want to get him in a flying pose, is a no-go. But even if you did get him in a flying pose, the problem with this figure, and there goes his gauntlet piece, just fell right off again. We'll put on the one that came in the figure. The problem is that he has no waist crunch here, so he can't make a good-looking flying pose. So, even if you have him up here, you can't, it just doesn't look right. And also, there's a big gaping hole in there. It gives him a lot of articulation. Not really. Like, that's as far down as he can look. Like, this is static, this is down. Like, it's not much. It is on a 360 at the very least, but not a fan of that. Just cutting out articulation points for no good reason. So the legs here, it is a rubber joint there, so he can splay out a little bit. And there is some texture work underneath that red bit. But don't do it for too long, because it'll, stretch like that. There you go. You can see the texture work under there. But kick forward's pretty good. Kick backward, actually really excellent, surprisingly. And then this is on a swivel, you saw. The knee joints can go that much. And then because of the way the legs are designed with this overlay piece, he can... Oh, that looks like it's going to pop off. Is the other foot like that? No. Huh. Maybe that's why he was having trouble standing. Yeah, this one looks like it's about to pop off. Huh. Yeah, his foot just came off. Didn't break off, thankfully, but... Yeah, that just must not have been... must be a problem with the mold on one of these. Okay, I got it in there as good as I can get it, but, he can go that far back, and then he's got the ankle pivot. So, a decent amount of articulation on Iron Man. Spider-Man here, as we've obviously seen what the arms and legs can do on the Amazing Fantasy body. Let's check that midsection piece. Midsection piece actually has a decent amount of forward, but because of, again, how this is molded, there's practically no backwards. That's as far forwards as he can get. And you can do pretty much anything with the arms, but the default pose for them, it's going to look a little weird. So you can kind of have him being like an actual spider, put these upwards. But just trying to give you a good idea here. These back arms do not like moving all that much. Yeah, they do not want to bend upwards any more than that. And then the legs are just the Amazing Fantasy legs, so nothing new there. But kick forward and back is unhindered by the rest of the figure. Keep doing that. His arm just pokes out. Warbow here, we haven't seen what he can do. Head sculpt wise, he can look up, he can look down. It's on a disc hinge, it's very good. 360 there. Can't really get a T-pose unless you force it. You got the articulation at the forearm. You got the bicep. Actually, there is nothing in the forearm, it's just the bicep. And then waist-wise, he's got a swivel hinge, which gets plenty of articulation, works well with the mold. And then with the legs, perfect splits, no problem there. Kick forward. Can't kick his own ass well. And actually, I think I didn't show off. Yeah, yep, everything's falling now. But Spider-Man, I forgot to show off his head articulation. He can look up that much, look down that much. Pretty good there. Let's get these guys standing back up properly. Now this guy's having trouble standing. Alright, Werewolf by Night here. Let's start off with that head sculpt. Can't really look up much because of the hair. Can't really look down all that much because of the jaw. Yeah, not really a lot there. You can look side to side, no problem. And there's minimal to no tilt. Arm sculpt wise, it's on a weird ratchet. It makes a really crunchy sound. Don't like that. You got 360. You got the swivel, but it feels very gummy. I don't trust it. Double joint on the elbow is fine. And obviously the hands, they got the hinge, but his hands are a little spiky. And then ab crunch wise, the ab crunch forward is good, but that's all he gets. And with the lack of head movement, that's all he can really get out of it. Doesn't look that great. And then this is on a swivel, of course. And then he can do the splits that much. Could do a forward kick, his knees, get that much out of him. And of course he's got the hinge, no swivel, but he's got the pivots. And not really great articulation on Werewolf by Night. Don't really care for the figure, if I'm being honest. And then Amora, you already saw what her head sculpt can do. She can't look up. She can barely look down. Arms wise, she gets over a T-pose by quite a lot. This can go 360, but the hair gets in the way. She's got a swivel at the upper arm. She's got a very tight elbow. Oh, God. She could probably touch her own shoulder, but again, the hair gets in the way. And be very careful. It feels very tight up there. And then with that upper joint, she can go side to side and swivel all the way around. I don't think there's anything in the lower joint here. Nope, that's all one piece. But the skirt is free floating, so you can have it up higher or lower. If you want it higher, you can get a better kick. It's still out to the side. It's not straight on, but there you go. Kick backward, not much. The double jointed knee, we're looking at not too bad. And then we got, the pivot there. We got the hinge forward and back, but, she has high heels, so there's really no point in that. Hopefully I can get her to stand back up after I just did that. There we go. And then, finally, Phantom Rider's articulation. He can look up that much, look down that much. His arms here are actually on a butterfly joint. So he actually has a butterfly joint. No one else in this wave does, as far as I know. He can do 360, but the cape gets in the way. He's got 360 on his bicep, double jointed elbow. You obviously know what the hands can do. He's got a hinge, which it goes very far down. And then he's got the swivel. The belt doesn't get in the way. Kick forward, pretty good. Not too bad. Kick backward, basically nothing. He's got the double jointed knee, which feels very tight. Ugh. Come on. Come on. Give me that double joint. Come on, Phantom Rider. There we go. He can kick his own ass with that double joint. And then he does have a swivel down here, although mine is a little wobbly on this side for some reason. And then he can't really kick forward much with his foot. Kick backwards decent. And then legs, or feet rather, not too bad on the pivot. But it's now time for the main event, the Build-A-Figure. So let's get it built. So let's grab the legs from Spidey and Phantom Rider. Let's take the torso and pop it in. It's actually a little bit tighter than I was expecting. Okay, that leg went in. That leg, I think that leg's in. Looks like it. And then we got the right arm, or the left arm from Werewolf. And then we have the right arm and axe. Let's go ahead and put those together. Yeah, there we go. And then we can pop this in. This is a very tough Build-A-Figure to get together, I'm not gonna lie. He's very, very tight in the joints. Good and bad. Good and bad. And then finally the head sculpt from Iron Man. So yeah, we finally have a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure to take a look at. And he looks pretty great all together. Carl Urban did a good job portraying him in the movie, but didn't have the size, whereas this guy, of course, is the comic version. And he looks really cool. Executioner. Looks like an Executioner, old-timey, but slightly cosmic, slightly magical, with the kind of Batman-looking logo. But yeah, he looks good, and of course he's going to look good next to Enchantress here, you know. Her and her Executioner, right? Because these two kind of go hand in hand. In the movie they did hella, but, you know, you get the idea, right? But yeah, the colors look good. I like the purple paint. I like all of the... Had a feeling she would fall. That's okay. But size-wise, if we want to take a look at how tall he is, it would be time for size comparisons. And, you know, I don't think I need to stand with her if I can... Oh, look, she didn't use the stand at all. She can actually pose. Who knew? Who knew? But let's go ahead and start with Iron Man here. He's leaning a bit forward, but he stands at about 6.5 inches tall. Spidey here is just about 6 1/4. Warbow also 6 1/4. Werewolf by night, he's standing closer to 6 3/4 inches tall. She's actually almost 6 3/4 inches tall. Actually, she's almost at 7 now that I'm looking at her Enchantress. And then, of course, we have Phantom Rider at the very top of his head is just under 7. And then Executioner from the wave here is 7.5 inches tall. Now let's see what they look like next to, you know, the usual suspects over here. You know, I'm going to pause. And here's everybody with everybody else. So Executioner, he's probably the second tallest character on this shelf, or rather, desk, I should say. He's quite a bit shorter than Atrocitus still. Enchantress and Phantom Rider are about the same size as Samoa Joe. And then Spider-Man's the same height as Spider-Man, as he should be. But, yeah, I like this wave. Don't think I'll keep every figure here, but for now, it's nice to have them all. Really like the Executioner. If you want that figure from the Build-A-Figure wave, obviously you got to get all 6 of these. I got almost all of these on sale. I think I paid, after taxes, like around $115 at most for the whole wave, which is pretty good considering they usually retail for about $28 a piece, $30 depending on where you go. But, yeah, like I said, I got him for 20, him for 20, Christmas gift, 26, 24, and 20. So, you know, just hunt those deals, find what you can, and, you know, for just over $110, I'm glad to get my first completed Build-A-Figure. But let me know in the comments down below if you're completing this Build-A-Figure. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. That all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.